As time went on, he started getting involved in other things that weren't as legal as they should have been, and his cars got smaller and his houses got bigger, and there were security systems and big dinners of champagne and all kinds of wild things going on.
One night, we went to dinner with about 15 people at this really fancy restaurant on a peninsula off of Miami. I had never seen a bar bill that high. I think it was $1,500 for 10 bottles of Tattinger champagne. What I didn't know that night was that joining us at the table was Griselda Blanco, the Black Widow. She's known as the cocaine kingpin, and she's known for killing hundreds of people, including 3 of her husbands. Apparently, my father was working for her, so it's very possible that she's had something to do with his disappearance. Another time, my father and I went out to dinner at this little restaurant in Coconut Grove. He would make the reservations under Dr. Pavey, because there were no pagers or cell phones back then. And this evening, we had just sat down at the table, and the hostess came over and said, "Dr. Pavey, you have a phone call." When he came back, he said we had to leave, that there was an emergency. But it wasn't an emergency. It was an emergency drug deal.
We would have these wild parties and craziness going on, and suitcases filled with money and cocaine, and it was pretty exciting for a 17-year-old back then. It was like the time of Miami Vice. It was before Miami Vice came out, but I think that's what it was based on. But only when I went to Florida. When I came home to Narberth, it was just like, being home, and I never told my mother anything. We would have these wild parties, and there was just a lot of drugs and speedboats and Porsches and big houses, and it was just fun.